This is the show that has hosted everyone from Sugar Ray Leonard to Keith One-Time Thurman. This is Tough Talk Tonight, brought to you by Heavy Bag Boxing.
Welcome to another episode of Tough Talk Tuesday. I'm here alongside me, I got Rob, I got Scull. Hey, everybody.
What's up?
Hola.
Good to be back on. First, a little bit about Fundora. From what I hear, guys, he is having a rematch in the works now with Tim Tszyu. Are you happy about this? Some people want Fundora to go in different ways. Some people want Tszyu to go in different ways. I, for one, want to see this. There's a lot of talk about whether it was an upset, whether it was the blood in Tszyu's face. I don't know about all that, but I want to hear what you guys.
I still have a problem with that because they should have did an immediate rematch to me. But I don't know, Lucas, to be honest. I wanted to see Tszyu Keith Thurman. I wanted to see Tszyu Keith Thurman so bad that I'm not interested to see in the rematch. But I believe the reason being is because I think Tszyu is not of the caliber of Fundora yet. He's not. The immediate rematch didn't happen, but the problem is Tszyu lost again after the Fundora fight. So, yeah, I don't want to see it for Fundora. I don't want to see it for Tszyu. I think they're on different levels at their career right now. I think Tszyu needs a match like with Keith Thurman, something where he can get another big name under his belt and get his confidence up there better before I see this type of rematch.
It's funny because, I didn't really expect it back in the original fight to be saying, well, Tszyu needs a step-up match first before he takes on Fundora, right? It usually was the opposite. Now, all of a sudden, it seems Fundora's in a better place than Tszyu. Sakura, I know, you probably are like Rob. You probably want to see the Thurman fight. But this has to be up there too, right?
Oh yeah, this is definitely. I mean, it's a little switcheroo, coup going on because Fundora and Zayas, they couldn't come to a negotiation. So I believe it was the WBC that's like, now you need to go to bids, and then all of a sudden Fundora pulls out of the bid and goes with Tim Tszyu, who must have been on standby. Like, if we can't make this happen between Fundora and Tszyu, and Zayas, we could use you, but you got to fight earlier than you thought. And now the Keith Thurman fight has to be put on hold, or we have to find some way to keep him busy. But I'm not upset for Tim Tszyu going for it because, Fundora got the titles now. And, the real way that you warrant bigger fights is to have those titles, to have those belts. So he has to go in that direction. Plus, it's, to me, it looked like to me Tszyu was having an okay time with Fundora before, the blood started coming down, and making things really awkward for Tim. And Fundora did what he needed to do. But see, now the issue is that, while Tim Tszyu got into two fights since Fundora's and him fought, now Fundora seems to have the momentum, like you're saying. So we're not going to see that same type of fight we saw originally in the first one, I believe. Like, I believe the rematch is going to be a little different, a little nuanced than what we saw in the first one.
A little different as in Fundora might be a little bit more game and Tszyu might be a little bit more hesitant.
Just Fundora can use his reach and just, stay on the outside at times. Just stylistically, he could do some things different. Um, so it doesn't look like it's as close as the first fight was. Like, in other words, he could come up with some other ways, and still bang it out in the pocket too. But he could come up with some different ways to just, make it seem like more of a dominant win for him, if he can pull it off. But he's easily to be baited into that, you know, um, inside game. So he may start out trying to, use the jab and stay long, but it's only a matter of time before Zoo is going to be in his face, and so I just think it'll be a different tactics that they'll be both trying to utilize in the second fight, knowing what they know of their styles, from the first one.
And like Rob, would you rather see Thurman, Zoo over this
I mean,
rematch?
especially
yeah, I was looking forward to that.
especially stylistic. Now I would like to see that more better. I mean, who's to say, because of the way Fondora and Zoo fight both, a clash of heads is definitely bound to happen in the second bout too. And if that happens again, then we're seeing the same result as the first one all over again. Not to mention the fact that I think you're absolutely right, Lucas. I think Fondora is all gas right now, no brakes. I think Zoo is hesitant. He's got his foot on off the gas pedal. He might not have it on the brakes, but he's got it off the gas pedal right now.
I don't think we can lose either way. I want to see Pandora Zoo, but Zoo Thurman's also really good, so I see where you guys are coming from too. All right, well, let's move on. Let's talk Eubanks beating Benn in a barn burner. Some people say currently the fight of the year for 2025. At least I think that was.
I don't know about the fight of the year, but I'm gonna say that to me, Eubanks had a dominant performance, even though it was super entertaining. And kind of Benn, he was able to, get in some licks and do some things to Eubanks as well. The only thing I have to, remind everyone is that, this was a diminished Eubanks who had definitely been drained. And of course, the second day weigh-in probably had a bigger effect on him than Benn, of course. Staying inside of 10 pounds on the day that you're usually allowed to rehydrate is, a lot.
That's rough.
That if you're already drained to get down to the 160 zone, and then you still can't really eat too much and really, well, just rehydrate yourself. I mean, everybody saw how thirsty he was after. Just to rehydrate yourself with water and liquids, it's hard. So I will say that I think that it was closer, and Benn did entertain us. He gave us, he showed he got a dog in him, which I'm glad that it benefited Benn just as much as Eubanks, to know that Benn does have that in him.
Yeah, I mean, supposedly it did really well. I kind of saw one-sided. Rob just disappeared. Two, do you think if the pay-per-view numbers, because in our little group chat we do have, us talking about that supposedly it was huge numbers for this pay-per-view. Do you think it's going to warrant like a rematch to try to turn this into some kind of trilogy?
I mean, I would say so. If the numbers hold up true, then we're looking at a significant increase in pay-per-view watches than some of the other matchups we've seen this year. And so that alone warrants it. And plus, the UK fans, they love that boxing rivalry and dynasty between those two families. And the way that they orchestrated everything as far as, just the visuals and the walk-ins, and it really did just kind of like send a little tingle uh, down your neck, just a little, for that nostalgia, and it pulled on the heartstrings a lot before they even got to the ring. So, I think that with the UK fans, boxing power that they have, that yeah, we could look forward to seeing a trilogy, because I don't know who else kind of been fights that makes that kind of money and that has that kind of views.
They pay for that kind of a rivalry. Rob, do you think it's going to turn into a trilogy? They're going to try to will that to happen if these pay-per-view numbers are true?
Well, a couple of things. This thing really sets the precedent on what boxing promotions and boxing bouts should be about, because the amount of fans that it drew to this one was because it was a grudge match.
Mm-hmm.
Therefore, when Caleb Plant talks shit to whoever, because we all know he gets the smoke, they need to draw a bout out of that. When some of these guys start jabbing out the mouth, jabbing on Twitter, how much they hate each other, let's bring it into the ring. Let's get an immediate fight off of that. That's proving that type of atmosphere does draw numbers. In any weight class, these two really were not in the same weight class, but all the jabbing, all the talking, all the hatred garnered this bout. It really did. And they showed it. They showed up in the ring. They did. They both showed up in the ring. Eubanks obviously had an edge to him. He had an edge in weight. He had an edge maybe in class and style. He had an edge in definitely in him not being suspended for as long as Conor did. So he had more activity in him. He had the edge all the way around. But Conor Benn still showed up and gave it his all. He gave us a fight despite those things happening. He took some of that hatred in the ring with him. So I absolutely thought it was a classic bout. I thought it was a great bout. I caught the replay of it on DAZN. I loved it. I think it's what boxing is all about. In regards to a trilogy, though, I have to take slight issue into account on that for two reasons. I'm going to go a different route. Number one, you're not used to this, but I'm going to say, number one, they're not in the same weight class. That's proven. The weight cut was too much for Eubanks in this one. And Ben's moving up in weight. You know what? He moved up, a division or two in this fight? He moved up. And Eubanks moved down. I'm glad they did it because we needed this fight. We got to see it, and that's that. I think we diminish from both of their brands if we try and go into a trilogy, because we're going to run into those same issues. Two, second reason is the reason why these guys showed up and had such a great fight is because they both finally had a quality opponent in front of them. They both been protected their whole careers with these lopsided opponents, lopsided competition. Now we see what they finally can do with someone who's in front of them that is of the same caliber. And that's what I'd rather see them jump into next. Start fighting up in competition. Guys that will level you out, and then we can really see what you can become instead of, this. Because I don't garner this as a loss for Ben. He was outside of his weight class. I don't really garner it as a loss for him. he did, he did what he did. He took the loss on paper, but it's still a win because he had such a great draw. Now let's go into your actual weight class, into your actual division, and see what you can do with a valid opponent.
Right. I do like that idea too. I think this time around, if they do a rematch, Eubanks will have a lot more. He will be able to negotiate a little bit more wiggle room in the weight. And I think the day of the fight, Conor Benn was at 163. And so, he kind of like, well, he still stayed inside of that 10 pounds, but see how he could have tried to gain even more, but he probably just can't. So, if anything, Eubanks probably could be like, okay, I needed to be like a catch weight. I needed to be like 165. Like, give me something. He goes like, give me something. I need a few more rooms. Or the other thing is he could just like try to stay in that weight zone in between these two fights, like just don't blow up in between fights, which is probably what a lot of, boxers like Mayweather and them like to do anyway. They're going to stay inside of their weight zone. But I mean, hey, I'm hearing Conor saying that he's going to New York and he's calling out King Ryan, as long as he gets through this fight. He's saying he would want to have that challenge. So apparently, allegedly, I think that's
and
what
that
the
would be
reporting was saying.
and that would be a good call out. Except I definitely could see that you just lost, motherfucker. Don't come in my house talking mess and you just lost.
No, apparently King Ryan was like, okay, I'm down. I can do it. Because I think the thing of it is that on the night of the fight, he might be still looking at a Chris Eubank size with Ryan Garcia. I mean, he gonna start out at 147. I mean, it's easy for him to put on the weight. He's a taller guy, so kind of still might be at a huge disadvantage unless they put another rehydration clause out there. But Eddie Hearns is his promoter, and I'm sure if that's something that kind of really wants to explore, then he's gonna do it for him. He loves Ben's family.
Cheat versus cheat. I see that already. You can label that on the
Oh,
right,
damn.
that's a good transition into Ryan Garcia versus Raleigh Romero. Guys, as much as I want to say this is not going to be high quality boxing, I think it's going to be entertaining. Though this is going to be one entertaining fight. Raleigh no matter what Raleigh does, to me, he's entertaining. I hate the but other than that, I like his style. Ryan Garcia is always a showman, more than it is necessarily good boxing. I actually don't know. I think this is going to be closer than what a lot of people are giving Raleigh credit.
Lucas, let's give a proper introduction to this bout, baby. New York City, in the middle of Times Square, people. Outside, which usually you don't see a lot of fights on an outside venue. Big lights, big promotion from what I'm hearing, free to the audience. So no live gate. Not free to us at home. Okay.
Kind of hard to control Times Square, but
hey, but they're doing it, and they got a ring there too. So I can't wait to see the schematics. I can't wait to see what DAZN is able to bring to this. They got to up their game. Okay, let's be honest. They got to up their game, commentary wise, showmanship wise. They got to take a step up in that. So I can't wait. From what I hear, they plan to do that. I'm hearing Andre Ward is part of the telecast. So
that's always a good thing.
Yeah, we'll see. Can't wait to see that.
I thought Leclerc was gonna do it too.
He was supposed to come back, but then I heard he didn't. So I don't know.
Can't wait to see that. But that's
we'll
the
get
introduction.
surprised.
That's the introduction to this one. Now, Shakur, I'll go ahead and let you give your take before I give mine on this first bout.
I mean, well, this is supposed to be the main event, so I mean,
this
you know, yeah, I think so. Like, but I did see where they had put Teofimo and Barboza. I feel like that is like, you know, that's gonna like hopefully be a competitive fight, and we'll see if iron sharpens irons in that one, because Tio he can prove a few things in that fight, and then he could call out either Ryan Garcia or Devin Haney. If all goes well for him that night. And the same applies to Barboza if he wins. So it's a win situation for them, because it kind of sets up an additional fight for them if, plans work out correctly. Ryan Garcia versus Romero. I do think it'll be action packed. And, Rolly does always have the opportunity to land something, really crisp and good. And Ryan Garcia, I'm just interested to see how Rolly will try to get his offense in on the taller Ryan Garcia. So I'm interested in that. But other than that, I don't really have too much to say about this fight. Like, I'm just looking forward to it being, I guess, entertaining. Now, here we go again with this. What I want to talk about is, here we go again with this outside venue stuff. I'm not with it. They can say the Grand Damn Canyon. If it's outside, I don't want it. Okay. I would have been happy with the Madison Square Garden or the Barclays Center. I mean, I know it's big headlines to say, Turkey shuts down Times Square. But then apparently you can't get closer or to the ring or anything like that unless you were actually, formally invited. So if I'm the public, I mean, I'm not going to go downtown and be standing all night and trying to peep over people's heads to see, a fight. I would much rather like to see it on, at home on a big screen, or your big screen. Number one, because it's outside, and number two, I need AC year round. Okay, Lucas. So just put it to you like that. And I want to see the fights, though. I do like the lineup where it's Ryan and Devin coming back, and getting warmed up and letting us see how both of them look before possibly matching them up against each other again.
Yeah, I definitely agree with you, the outside venue. Like, I like open outside venues, but to just put it in Times Square, I think it's just going to be a mess. Like, in my head, it's just a mess already. I don't think it's going to do any service to them, honestly. Could have brought back other venues, but I don't see the point in the Times Square thing, other than the fact that you may be trying to push the whole rematch of Ryan Garcia versus Devin Haney. You're trying to get boxing back into the spotlight, and having it in Times Square, it's hard to avoid it. People are going to have to be like, who the fuck is this? Who's that? And then maybe trying to bring some household names back to it, but I don't know if it's going to work the way they think it is. I hope so. I'm always rooting for it. But
check it out. Security, how much extra security they going to have down there? Like, whew. Yeah. And then you're not going to be able to park close. You're going to be walking for blocks and blocks and blocks trying to get there.
Hell yeah. I started with this one because I actually thought, for the most part, This one was more one-sided than the other two. But I don't know. Haney's might be. We're gonna get to that. But the main call of the title fight should be the main event, right? I don't care who has more followers. That fight should be the main event. Not to mention, I think that one's also the more competitive fight. Are you guys giving Raleigh any big chances here? I mean, obviously, I would. Before I even pull up the odds, guys, you would imagine Garcia's pretty wide, right?
No.
Inactivity for Ryan Garcia and a hand injury. I believe it was his hand or was his elbow one. So that's a disadvantage for him. And Rolly, I was trying to remember his last fight, and I'm not clear on what that was. So he's probably got a long layoff too. So it evens things out a little bit more. What'd she say? What Rosalind say?
She said, "Pray for the best, but that's gonna be a hot mess." I agree.
Yeah, it is. But like she said, pray for the best. I think we could get a great show out of it. But no, I don't think Raleigh has a shot in this one. Personally, no, I don't personally. He talks a good talk. He just don't walk it. That's all I can say. Raleigh always he talks a great game. He just don't walk it. Ryan, I felt like did the right things on his layoff. We didn't hear a whole lot of BS coming from Ryan Garcia. Him destroying hotel rooms and being in and out of the hospital and this type of stuff.
He did enough, like
during
that last fight.
Right. He did enough prior to, right? We haven't seen that. And then he's even come back and shown some remorsefulness about missing the weight, even with the Devin Haney. So I feel like he's in a good place mentally, and that's dangerous. And as y'all spoke, he's taller. I think he's more beefed up than Raleigh. I think he's a better fighter than Raleigh. The only thing he's got to get past is the rustiness. And again, like I said, Raleigh talks the talk, he don't walk it. In order to get that rust off on Ryan, Raleigh's gonna have to challenge him. I don't think he can do it.
Yeah, I think I don't think so either. And Ryan's just too quick. I mean, I think he's going to be able to get whatever around whatever defense Raleigh can put up. He's going to beat him to the punch half the time.
So do you guys see a stoppage or what?
Oh yeah, I'm saying maybe 8 to 10 who gets stopped. Probably big left hook will drop him, and either the ref will call it off or he won't come out with 1-1. He's going to be getting beat up in this fight.
I'd say because of the rust, I don't know if he's going to be able to stop Raleigh. He should. I don't know if he's going to go for the stoppage, but I definitely see a dominant fight for Ryan. Definitely see a dominant fight.
I think he does. I think he wants a stoppage. I think his promotion is going to say, you have to make a statement here. We're trying to sell the rematch and all this craziness that went around that fight. So I think he wants it, and I think he's going to actually go for it. He's not going to let it come to him. He's going to try to get Raleigh out.
Jesus, is that the odds? Oh my God!
You just now saw that? I said you were right.
Oh my God!
Yeah, I mean,
look at these odds. Dang.
I mean, you might as well not even bet on Ryan Garcia. You ain't gonna get shit back out of it. I mean, that's some wide odds. That tells you right there. It's really
it's worth for Rolly. It's worth for Rolly. $10 on Rolly. It's worth it.
Hey,
this is the main event.
$10 out there.
This is the main event too. That's the funny part of it. You got two other good fights on this card. two other potential main events. And I don't think, I haven't looked those up yet, but I don't think that those are going to be quite as wide as this. That is a damn wide card for a minute.
They don't need to sleep on Rolly, damn it. That's not right.
All right, guys, let's transition to, I think, the next fight here, Devin Haney versus Jose Ramirez. Maybe slightly more competitive. I know, Sakura, Jose Ramirez is your guy. Do you like him? Do you like him in this one?
That's the new age body snatcher. What? It depends on what form.
Yeah, I'm wondering what shape Devin Haney is in. I mean, you're trying to sue people. His head's everywhere else but fighting lately. So, I mean, you never know what kind of shape Devin Haney's in.
I mean, I think he'll be in great shape. I don't think that's going to be a problem from either guy. I just, I'm wondering what weight he's going to come in at, and, what in his mind, all he has is that jab to keep Jose Ramirez off of him. He don't really have a lot of power to make somebody really like Jose. He's not going to stop coming forward. He's not. So, and if he goes to Haney's body, I think he has a chance of pulling out a victory. Like, I mean, of course, some people will see it opposite. They'll see like, well, Haney, if he's going to be coming forward all the time, then, of course, Haney, that's a tailor-made fight, as a flat-footed, aggressive fighter, that's like tailor-made for a real boxer, if you start playing that matador game. But, I mean, Jose is pretty strong. Like, he is super strong.
Jose ain't programmed.
Yeah, of course, he got some muscle and some weight behind him, so it's that's why I say it's important to know like exactly what weight zone is Haney gonna be in that night. But I think if he goes to the body and he consistently is known for going to the body, Ramirez might be able to pull something out, especially with, I mean, hey, we know why Ryan was out all that time. What was Haney's excuse? Like, he's cold just like Ryan's cold.
He's trying to sue him the entire time. He was trying to get lawyers. He's trying to do everything he can. He's trying to fight this man outside the ring.
Yeah, I think that ended up hurting him as too, because I mean, some boxers are gonna be like, well, I don't know if I want to fight you or not because you could try to sue me afterwards. But the courts definitely shut that down. They like, you're a professional boxer, like, dude.
Yeah, I don't know how it got far as it did.
You agreeing to this?
Yeah. Not only did you agree to that, you agreed to fight him when he already said he wasn't making weight. So you put yourself doubly at risk there.
I mean,
yeah, and then Ryan Garcia has that case against the vitamin company that he was using. So because they didn't have it labeled properly. But remember, Syrian was telling us that they do have, like most companies, have a performance, a vitamin or whatever that is labeled for professional athletes. So I don't know how that's going to turn out. But obviously, if you don't have in your ingredients that something is in there and then something is in there, cross-contamination, you might be really liable. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I mean, for me, it's always hard. Like, it's easy to say, oh, like, you got to be responsible for that. I mean, this is your job. This is your job.
Mm-hmm.
You don't bag groceries, right? You ain't a UPS driver. No. You box and you maintain your body. You're supposed to be maintaining the weight. You have to make sure
Right.
illegal. There ain't no excuse for Canelo either. Like, come on, man. You know where you get your meat. Come on. You already know that it could be tainted. You got to go somewhere else. But Robo, I want to hear your thoughts on this one. And I was lying, guys, because Haney's is even lighter, slightly, but not by a lot.
Really?
Devin
Oh, yeah,
Haney,
that's right, because it was negative.
light.
Okay.
So
So if you
check
think
this out.
Jose's gonna win, Sakura, you might want to put some money because
So check this out.
$20 on him.
So check this out, people.
10, but 20.
This is one I would consider putting money on Jose Ramirez.
Really?
Here's why. The fighters like Devin Haney, the way that he fights, the style that he fights, the way that he fights, there should be no days off. And what I mean by that is you need to be constantly training because of your style, because of the way that you fight. You always need to be constantly training. I haven't heard anything about the training of Devin Haney through this whole layoff. All you're hearing about is lawsuits, assault, wanting to claim assault and battery charges. Did he continue to train through it, or did he just show up to camp? Because I don't think stylistically he's a fighter that can just show up for training camp and be utterly compared for an active fighter like Jose Ramirez. Therefore, that's why we get bad showings early in Devin Haney's career, where they say he's highly favored just like he is right now, and he didn't really show up for those fights. Did he win? Yes. He's won every fight right now because he got the loss back from Ryan Garcia. And that's really what all that he should have wanted to gain from that Ryan Garcia saga. He should have just been like, give me my loss back. He got that no questions asked. So, that being said, Devin, if you haven't been constantly in the gym training like your Floyd Mayweather, you're susceptible to some stuff in this fight, and Ramirez is going to bring it out of you. He definitely.
But wait a minute, Rob. Suppose you just didn't see him. They didn't publicize the training camp. Suppose Devin Haney is in excellent shape. Now, what chance would you give Jose?
Again, you're right. We haven't heard that. You're right. We haven't heard that he's been constantly training. We haven't heard. So I can't 100% say in all confidence he hasn't been training. He hasn't. I can't say that. But it doesn't seem to be the case to me. We're not hearing about that. We're seeing Dad at other fights. We're seeing Dad and him watching other fights, which a lot of boxers do, especially at that level. They're always constantly watching boxing. They're constantly at the fights. But I don't know. I don't know. So yeah, I might be making an ass out of myself for assuming that. But that's what I believe, y'all. I believe he just showed up for training camp because that's what he thinks. He thinks at this point in his career, he's that type of fighter that he can just show up for training camp and be prepared. And again, he's shown to do that before in fights, because if you go back early on in his career, there's several fights in there where he had a disappointing performance.
I don't know. Like I hear what you're saying, but at the same time, I think to me, Devin Haney's somebody that just kind of lives in the gym. I don't think he is one of those that balloons up. And even if you are, some of those guys can do it. Tim Bradley got away with that shit. He would put on fucking like 60, 80 pounds, and then when training started, shrink that down and get back to business. I mean, he's a great. But
yeah, like I don't think what I'm saying is not. I'm not saying he's not going to make weight or anything. I'm saying that he's been known to put on the 15 plus pounds after weigh-in. So I'm saying the night of the fight, what's the weight gonna be? And will Jose Ramirez, who's a solid, he's a solid 140 pounder, but this is 147, like we got it. I don't know. Is he going to be able to handle someone in there with him that's at 160 something?
Super middle, yeah. It's going to be
Yeah.
a super against him, basically.
Well, who
I'm
you
not,
got then, Lucas? Who you
Isn't
got,
that
I'm
what
not
Lucas?
saying.
isn't
Hold
that
on.
what he weighed last time? Didn't he ballooned up when at 168 against Kroger, 165, something like that?
Yeah, he was like at
Big.
164 that night. Yeah.
He was big. And I
He
feel
was
like
in.
I hate
He,
this. I'm gonna say it like I do against Eubanks. You got to move the fuck up. I'm sorry, but this is cheating. As far as I'm concerned, you're cheating, Haney. All you doing like beef jerky, you're just shrinking yourself and then you ballooning back up, putting that water in you and expand it back up like one of those damn sponges that we had when we were little. You put them in, they're a little small, look like a little T-Rex, and it turns into a big-ass T-Rex in the water. Look, it's not
And
right.
he's all over Ryan for cheating now. That's an
Oh,
irony.
yeah. The funny
You
thing
know.
is, yeah, he's legally cheating, but you're still fucking cheating. I don't care how you do it. It's
Yeah,
still
it's the hypocrisy, right?
I admit I
But
do like Ramirez in this fight more than the plus 700. Would I still say Haney's a favorite? Yes. And I really do hope Jose gives him a decent fight. I think they want it to be a little wide because they're trying to set these fights up between these two guys. They want that rematch. They want that grudge match. And right now, between those two guys, that honestly is the money fight for both of them. For Haney
Mhm.
and for Ryan Garcia, the pot is them to fight each other. So they wanted this fight and Ryan's fight against Raleigh to be somewhat of an easy fight for them. And oddly, the Vegas odds are agreeing with that. But I really hope Jose can turn this into a fight because Haney has taken a full year off. I think Ryan at least did like a celebrity fight or two, but
No,
Devin
that got
Haney's a
canceled
full
because he
year.
got injured. Yeah.
So they're both been off
They
for
both.
a little over a year now. They
Mhm.
could get upset. I mean, one of these could be a very
yeah,
bad Vegas upset.
these are dangerous. Both of them. These are dangerous
Sure.
fights to be on a layoff like that, which is why I said I need to see you in shape. Don't just show up for training camp.
Now, it's not just that. I'm worried about Devin Haney's mental state. Now, we talk a lot about Ryan Garcia's mental state, but Devin Haney took an L. I don't care if you got that erased out of the record book, motherfucker. You took an L, okay? And it's in your brain. You remember that shit. You remember what it's like to hit the deck, okay? You remember what it's like to lose. That
Hold on.
fight
I
against
one up.
Ryan Garcia. Go ahead.
I one up you on that. He took an ass beating.
He did.
He
Got
took a
whooped
he took a
Yo,
so
whoop.
yo,
bad.
it's not nice right now. Come
He
on.
did. He
He
got whooped
did.
bad. And I'm sorry, but sometimes you cannot bounce back from that. You took an ass whooping so bad, you tried to go to court. I mean, that's pretty bad.
You
That is
claimed assault
bad.
charges. You said
Yeah.
it was assault and
This
battery.
motherfucker said he tried to kill me with that left hook. You see him? He tried to kill me. I mean,
Facts.
look,
Trying to be
if
nice.
that's the
Y'all
case,
just making me laugh.
No,
if
and
that's
listen,
the case,
Lucas, and listen. Who's saying Jose Ramirez, who's not known for his power, what if he makes Haney hit the deck in this bout? It could happen.
I think, especially if Jose can just hurt him, Devin Haney is going to be in severe trouble. And if there is an upset, because the next fight that we're going to talk about in this card, I don't consider either guy winning an upset. That is a very even match. But this right here could be one of the biggest upsets of the year, at least odds-wise.
I agree.
I don't know. I mean, Devin Haney is supposed to be the superior boxer, but Devin Haney never showed that superior boxing against Ryan. I mean, I don't know if that's because he got hit early in the fight and couldn't never recover from it. But I mean, most slick boxers, they got a plan A. Then if that don't work out, they can adapt to the plan B. I didn't see that with Haney, and I don't know if it was just him being stunned the way he was, and then Ryan was like laying into him with that left hook. So I I,
It's the
I
speed.
just see some openings. Jose Ramirez, he can make some things happen in this fight.
Yeah, I mean that speed. I think he couldn't even see that damn left hook, especially after the first one landed. After that, he was just so susceptible. Every left hook seemed to be landing on him, and I don't know if it was just the speed. I don't know if he hit him in the eye just right, and messing with his vision. But yeah, I think he was an open book after that. Just didn't know what to do. We've seen Haney adjust and make great changes to his game plan. I mean, we've seen it against Lomachenko even, which I still think Lomachenko edged that one out, but that was still a great fight.
I
But yeah,
agree. He did.
we've seen him make changes, but against Ryan Garcia, it's like he just didn't know what. And
It
I think,
just showed how much of a warrior Lomachenko was when, to think that he really wasn't in that division that night. you know,
yeah, I mean,
Lomachenko was really 130 pounder. He liked that division. He said he felt good at that division. He's fighting at 135, and then you got Haney that he's way over there. So it just showed to me how much of a damn warrior and fighter Lomachenko was, more
yeah,
so than it proved anything to me about Haney.
for sure. Lomachenko's been fighting up this entire time. He battled so
He's
well,
a
but
dog. He's a Ukrainian dog.
this Devin Haney, I don't know. Like I said, that the way that this all went down after the Ryan Garcia really has me questioning uh, how much in boxing is he. I mean, it makes me feel like he's got one foot out the door. I don't want to get beat up
Mhm.
bad. Let's talk about what I think should be the main event here, and of course that is Teofimo Lopez versus Arnold Barboza. And this is for
Okay.
Lopez's WBO junior welterweight title. Um, guys, as far as I'm concerned, it's a 50-50 fight. I haven't pulled up odds for this one just yet. But honestly, right now, I'm leaning toward Barboza.
Mm. Really?
Yeah, you're wrong. It's okay though.
Speak on it then, Rob. Speak on it.
Yeah, you're wrong.
How am I
Oh
Listen,
wrong?
wow.
when Teofimo Lopez with Teofimo Lopez, it's never a matter of skills and talent. It never was. It never will be. It's always a question of who's going to show up in the ring that night.
Okay.
That's always the issue. That's always the question. Looking at them pre-fight conferences, looking at them pre-fight workouts, because I don't know if you guys have seen this, but right now, kudos to DAZN for this. But now they've been doing the pre-fight, streaming the pre-fight workouts live. So you could go on and watch the workouts and everything. Now, of course, those workouts are the walkthroughs that the press gets to see, so you really don't see much, right? But he looks good. He looks good. And when you have a on point Teofimo Lopez, you get Teo versus Josh Taylor. And we all know what happened to Josh. Okay. So Barboza, the real reason why I like this fight is because Barboza earned it. Completely earned it. He was very active and he won every fight he's been in. Now, that being said, a couple of them, especially the last ones to get to this point in his career, have been very close. He edged them out. He did win those fights, but they've just been close. And this Teofimo, the one that we know, when he puts the talent together, when he puts the skills together, matches that with the talent and the motivation. And the motivation is clear on him this time around as well. He's a different level. He's a different level. Barboza is B plus fighter at this point. He goes back to being a B fighter after this fight.
An undefeated guy, a B plus.
Yeah, because he hasn't fought the elite yet. He hasn't fought the elite yet. This is his biggest fight. This is his biggest fight by far. Now, again, he earned this. Again, I don't want to take away from Barboza. He earned this. He took every opportunity he had and he seized the moment, and he did win those fights, whether they be close or not. But we always say this, there's different levels, and when that different level shows up, it's obvious. And that this fight, out of all of them, is the one I truly feel should be the obvious winner, the obvious fight. And you'll see it when he's in there with the Teofimo Lopez that I know, that I've seen at the level that he can be at the level that he will be at Friday night. You're going to see it on full display. This one is going to be a complete domination.
What makes you so sure? Because, I didn't really see a lot of chinks in the armor when it came to Kambosos, but we know what happened there too. So,
Wait,
what makes you
say that again?
I said, what makes you so sure? Because I didn't really notice any chinks in Teo's armor either before he fought Kambosos. We all know how that went
down. Lucas, yeah. Going into that fight, there was the injury first and foremost. The kid almost died and didn't know it. Obviously, so we obviously didn't get a full checkup or whatever happened in the case of that. Maybe the doctors miss it. Who knows? But
you get to fight medical. I mean,
something those types of illnesses and stuff like that. That's hard to diagnose in a pinch like that. And if especially you're not testing for it, they don't know the severity of those types of issues. You know what I'm saying? But he also fought the wrong fight against Kambosos too. He was a little too cocky and too arrogant. As Kendrick Lamar says, be humble. He got humbled in that fight. He hasn't really shown immaturity like that since, in my opinion, in my book. He hasn't shown immaturity like that since. Now,
you mean he hasn't fought with that much emotion? Because I think his emotion.
Yeah, he acts like a child every time I see him outside the ring. What are you talking about?
Yeah, you mean he didn't fight with that much, with that type of emotion again. We didn't see that because he was just going after Kambosos, and he thought it was going to be easy. And it's kind of one of those things when Kambosos had. He had the best fight of his career. He fought the best he'd ever fought. And at the same time, Teofimo had the worst fight that we saw him in. So I don't want to go back to that because, he's had a lot of fights since then and dominated fighters. So I feel like if Teo really wants to show out and call out these other two individuals or three, basically any four people he could call out on the card if he has a huge and dominant performance. And that's what I'm saying, where Arnold Barboza, he has opportunity to do the same damn thing. But like if it ends up being a tough fight and that's grueling and it goes to a decision, then now it's gonna be like it's gonna mean that it was rough on both of those guys. And and then, it's not as much demand for whoever the winner is to fight one of these other players, in the division. So I feel like although Arnold Barboza is a really great fighter, I still see where the experience is leaning more towards Teofimo. He's been in there with the bright lights and the big crowds, and he's been at Madison Square Garden fighting before. These other, well, what do you call it? The Hulu Theater. Um, he's used to that type of atmosphere, whereas Barbosa, as Rob was saying, is like, it's going to be a bigger stage for him, so we don't know how he's going to react to that too. I think it's still Tio's fight to lose, in my opinion, because it's going to be based off what Tio comes in that ring, and whether he's going to be baited into some if he's baited into some then he's not going to be on top of his game. I think it's very important that he maintains his cool and doesn't get too hyped up in this fight, because that's when mistakes start being made.
Yeah. Even with that last fight for Tio against that Steve Claggett, though, I just really wasn't all that impressed. I expected him to get him out of there, and it just kind of never happened. You've got Barboza. He's going to have a longer reach. Is he going to be able to get it? Tio's got to make up 3 or 4 inches.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but does Arnold Barboza really fight his height? It's you got to look at some of his fights and see, like, is he giving up some of that height advantage?
Well,
is he,
not.
like,
He is a heavy jabber. So I can see him, and there's going to be a lot of volume to Barboza. I think he's going to outwork Tio.
That's a possibility.
I mean, again, I'm the wrong person to ask, Lucas, because I already done told you Teofimo Lopez is levels above Barboza. So I don't know why you asking me how I feel about the matchup. There is no matchup, okay? Everybody don't want to give Tio credit because of how he looks when he's in these non-motivated situations, when he's not fully in shape, when he's fighting and arguing with dad, when he's going through divorces and all this outside shenanigans.
It seems to happen a lot. I mean,
right. So that's why you judge him, right? That's why I'm telling you, focused and motivated Teofimo that shows up in this bout is light years running.
I mean, but we haven't
Barboza.
even seen any of those shenanigans before this fight. We haven't. I haven't seen anything. Let me know if I'm wrong, but I haven't seen any, in fighting in Team Lopez.
Right, there hasn't been. Right.
Maybe that's bad though. If you have your whole career with turmoil and you got peace, shit, that might be bad.
Or it might be bad for Barboza, It could go either way. But I do feel like this is the more competitive fight. And I think the odds you have on here, Lucas, are also in agreement with that.
They reflect that. Yeah. Absolutely, they reflect that. I mean, we don't have a betting segment on here, guys. We don't really do. But if we did, in this trifecta of a thing, in a parlay, I'm going Teofimo knockout. I'm going Devin Haney by 12 in 12 rounds. And then I'm going Ryan Garcia by TKO.
Okay. I agree with you with the Ryan Garcia. The other two, I don't know. Look, I'm going to go against Tio on this one. I do. I think Barboza's going to outwork him, make Tio come to him, and Tio is going to end up looking kind of like he did against Cambosa. He's going to be following Arnold. Barboza just following around the ring, and he's going to be on his horse. Barboza's going to fight a little bit smarter. And Teo's going to get fucking frustrated, start doing the lunging shit. And he's going to get caught and get more frustrated. And it's going to kind of mentally implode.
But you know what, Lucas?
Close fight. But I'm gonna edge it with Barboza, like split decision.
You know, when you described what you thought was going to happen, I believe that's like what a lot of people thought was going to happen when Teo fought Lopez. But and then he didn't have that strategy. He had a totally different strategy, because he can do that. You know, he is adaptable. So I'm still gonna lean towards Teo in this fight. I think that you know, and then too, he do have some great power. But Barboza does too. This might be the first time we see him in there with
But
somebody that's considered to have, you know, decent power.
does he really? The man's got 11 KOs. He doesn't
Look at
have
you.
power to me. He doesn't
I
have
mean,
power to me.
okay, all right. So you say that. I think you know how it goes. It's like the higher the competition level, the more you're not able to knock out your opponents the way you used to or you were. So, but we'll have to see. It's a great opportunity for Barboza to show us.
I mean, if you're just taking their last opponent, you just look at them. I mean, I like Barboza's last win versus Teo's last.
Okay.
All right, Canelo against William Scull. Guys, of course, we do have other fights on this card. It's just we're running out of time, so we can't really talk about all of them. But I do want to touch on Munguiao's fighting Saras, Martin Bacole fighting F.A. Ajagba. Two good fights. And then Canelo versus Scull is the main event. You got Badu Jack also.
Yeah, I love Badu.
And this should be probably a better main event. I'm going to say it.
What's the odds on this one? Hey, is it wider? Is it wider than Ryan versus Rowley and Haney versus Ramirez?
You want Badu Jack odds, or are you just talking Canelo odds?
Canelo versus Scull. What's the odds?
Badu Jack's fight is almost dead even. But it's
I told you, because McKaylian, man, the dude, he's strong and he can fight. And Coach Diaz is his coach. Now, you know, that's that good pedigree. Like he getting some real work. And Coach Pedro Diaz, him. So
The only thing in main.
Oh my God. I'm sorry.
What?
Go ahead.
What?
I'm gonna put it up. Go ahead.
The only thing and main thing that I want to say about this fight card is that matchup wise on each of the undercard fights, these are very competitive fights and will be very competitive fights that have some lure to them. Bacole versus FA, those are two very hard-hitting heavyweights. Those are two hard-hitting heavyweights right there. And that fight is probably 100% going to end in knockout. It's just which way is it going to go? Badu Jack, as you mentioned, with his opponent is dead even odds. And both of those guys are competitive in their division that they're in right now. Plus, it's a championship fight, right? And it's a championship caliber of a fight. And then you have Munguiao, who wants revenge after being knocked out by this guy. So those are three fights, actually, that'll be looking to steal the show because, let's face it, as the odds show it, Canelo and Scull ain't going to be very entertaining.
I mean, Scull does not have a lot of experience, well, good experience. Let me put it that way. So that's why everybody is saying this is not a competitive fight. Have we seen him fight a lot? No. I will admit I've never seen him fight. But I can look at his record and who he's fought and the experience of these fighters that he's fought and tell you he is not ready for a fight of Canelo Alvarez's levels.
Yeah, no, not to him. No, not to him. He
No,
has to take this opportunity. You know,
money.
it's
It's
money that
much
he's never seen and probably never will see again unless he, shows us something that we haven't seen, and makes Canelo show us something that we haven't seen. But the odds and the experience, the group of boxers I saw on Skull's record, I really didn't recognize anybody's name on Skull's record. But nevertheless, we have Canelo Alvarez versus William Scull. And I I think the undercard is there's like two matchups up there that I really am interested in, which is why I want to support those boxers in their fights. I this is more of a spectacle for Canelo to have his coming out party in Saudi Arabia and it being Cinco de Mayo. It's also a coup as far as Turkey al-Sheikh pulling this fight away from Vegas on Saturday, Cinco de Mayo. He's going to have his own Cinco de Mayo, damn it, in Saudi Arabia. So eat that, I will still be having my fare, as I told you guys before. I will have my Cinco de Mayo food festivities and drink festivities ready. He's not going to stop my show here in the U.S.
Hey, I'm here. I'm hearing they're having. I'm hearing they're having ceviche kebabs in Saudi Arabia
ceviche.
for that. Ceviche kebabs is what I'm hearing.
so in case you guys
Right.
haven't read these odds, Canelo Alvarez is heavily favored to win with odds around minus 3,000 to minus 4,000, while Scull is a large underdog at odds of plus 1360, all the way to 1,500. I don't know. It's been a long time since I've seen odds like that. And again, it's not a knock on Scull. I just think it's way too much, way too soon. And I think Vegas and everywhere else has betting on threes. Canelo really shouldn't be fighting this fight, but it is what it is. At least the guys on the undercard will get some exposure. But this, I don't even know how you can sell something with those odds at the main event. I mean, that's ridiculous as fuck.
There are parties. There are parties galore for this fight. But let me say this. Hey, Lucas, this could be one event where you see at the end of the fight both the winner and the loser celebrating. Where I can see Skull saying, "I'm gonna buy my mama a house."
I mean, this
buy
is
my mama a house.
He's going to be like Bacoli. He's going to be like Bacoli after his last minute replacement money. You saw him doing his African dance like,
yeah.
I don't blame him. No, I was just saying, I don't blame him. I mean, Skull, listen, no matter if you like Skull or you don't know him, don't talk shit about him because he's doing what is best for him to do right now. So,
this ain't on
yeah.
Skull.
I'm taking that fight too.
Yeah, nobody is downplaying Skull really in this one. Interesting thing though, guys, is what I wish they would have did was put this Canelo fight and Ryan Garcia in reverse. Make Canelo fight on the Friday night and let Ryan in the triple threat be the headliner on Saturday night.
That would have been cool. But Canelo was not having that now. He gonna fight on Cinco de Mayo, Saturday. Like, that's his night. He wasn't gonna have that. But that is the correct way. Like what you said makes way more sense. if that Times Square fight was that Saturday, and you just bringing out all the Latino love into New York, because they party up there too for Cinco. Yeah. I don't know, guys. What you think? What are you gonna watch? I want to know. Like, what what are you gonna do to be able to watch the undercard? Because Rob, you were telling us that the pay-per-view, like they wanted us to pay how much to see
So listen,
Canelo Skull fight?
listen, I didn't look at it individually on Canelo because I just think that would
Okay.
be asinine if you buy Canelo separate. Um, because the price tag would be too much. It's better to
Mm-hmm.
bundle it because a normal Canelo fight goes for $89.99 now these days, and they're bundling both on DAZN for the $89.99. So you can see both Friday night and Saturday for that $89.99 price range. Now, the problem that I'm having is Canelo's free for me. Okay, I will be attending a fight party where they'll be having it. So I don't need to pay for the Canelo bout. So
You cheap.
the individual price tag on the Ryan Garcia Friday night fights is $59.99. And that's already in considering that I'm paying $29.99 a month for my DAZN subscription, which just got taken out this week. So
They made sure
Yeah,
you had to pay it first before you could get to this weekend.
at least let me have paid that shit 3 weeks ago and then be able to,
You're gonna get double charged from the zone this week, is what you're saying.
right. And my dumb ass invited a bunch of people over to have a fight party without looking
Oh,
at the price tag. So I should have been like, wait a minute, hold up. Let me look at the price tag first.
yeah.
you look,
This one's just
you
not
need to
worth.
have that donation cup like at church. When they come through the door, you got to drop a couple of dollars.
Yeah, drop it in.
The best thing is to get them in first, right? You got to get them
Yeah.
in, then and eating. Then you make it. Hey, I need everybody run me $10. Everybody run me $10 right now. Don't get up, run me $10, everybody.
Yeah, this is
Hey, nobody wasn't paying at our fight parties. I shut that shit down during COVID. I haven't had anything since, and it's lovely.
I don't see a reason to buy this fight card. I would encourage people not to, just because. Well, look at the fucking odds. I mean, that speaks for itself. Why are you paying for a fight when you know who's going to win, right? I mean, we know who's going to win. At least the main event, right? If you're going to pay for it, pay to see the other guys.
Oh
Turn
God,
the TV off when Canelo starts. But
you are whew,
I fully
trying to
expect.
put on my professional face, Lucas, and you just got me where I can't stop laughing.
I think Bud's going to be in attendance, and the most entertainment we're going to get out of that main event is when Bud gets in the ring afterwards and they start the little chit chat and hyping it up for September. That's really what we're waiting for. We don't give a shit about this fight. Clearly, the odds say it's not going to be any good. It's probably not. It's probably going to be a stinker, right? But the rest of this card, you can tune in and check out. Support those guys. The other fights, I assume those are going to be entertaining too, but they're also pretty. I mean, we know who's going to win, right? Except for Barboza Tio. I mean,
Oh,
you talking about Friday?
that? Yeah,
Yeah,
Friday.
we were talking about the undercard
no, not that
for
undercard.
this
That
fight.
undercard's better, yeah. This undercard's
Yeah,
a little bit better. We probably should have separated this different, but we talk about the bigger names first because that's what people want to hear about. You don't got to turn in this show to hear about the smaller guys. So we got to go where the viewers are, right?
okay. Well, Badu Jack versus McCallion, that is at cruiserweight. I think that's an amazing fight. And is that a unification bout?
What?
Because I thought both of them had belts. Well, anyway, I don't know for sure, but I think the WBC belt is somewhere in play there for sure. And then, of course, we got Bacoli, and he's fighting. Who is he fighting?
Epic.
Bonus fight,
FA, yes, FA at Java, yes. So that also is going to be very interesting. I don't want to say entertaining. That's going to be interesting.
Yeah, you got three decent fights on the undercard there. Just the main event that we don't.
Yeah.
All right. And we don't got time to talk about it. I'm wrapping up the show now, but I do want to say also we got Inoue on Sunday.
There you go. There you go.
So
you got to mention anyway.
And he's fighting.
Espinoza.
Yeah, and he's fighting in Vegas, so we don't have to have a hangover and wake up to watch Innuendo early as hell.
Hey, we got boxing Friday, Saturday, Sunday is gonna be a good week.
I'm really happy with this.
Yeah, we got boxing. Hey, we got boxing Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And Monday is actually Cinco de Mayo, and I'll be out. So we gonna have another fight come Monday.
Yeah, like you're gonna be having fights with your buddies because they're not gonna pay you any money to watch the pay-per-view. So you'll be really mad at them. Yeah, you're gonna be upset with them, and you're gonna have to buy some food. Now you gotta feed them too.
Be a fight at the fight party. Give me that $10.
Look at him; he's starting to get mad right now.
I'll call it off. No.
But as always, we don't pull any punches, guys. Check us out next Tuesday, 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Pacific. We'll recap all of these fights and more. Check us out again next Tuesday. Have a good night.